Hello there everybody, and welcome back to my F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. We are now at Brazil for the Brazilian Grand Prix, or the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, whatever you want to call it these days. If you haven't seen the last installment from Mexico, I urge you to go back, check that one out before you come back and check this one out. This is your last chance to do so before spoilers. Well, off the back of the heartbreak in Mexico, coming back all those positions and it being pretty much for naught, we are now here at the next race. Nothing I can do, just kick something, get over it, move on to the next one, and we're now here to try and get back in the top 3 once again and get a great result. But first things first, we need to set a good qualifying lap, and while that looks to be a semi-decent lap, we need a bit more, especially going into Q2. We need more than that, because the last thing I want is to be knocked out in Q2, but that's not a good line round there. Oh my gosh, what are my sector 2 lines on this lap? Somehow I need to find a bit more time so that I can get myself through Q2, get into the top 10 shootout, and get a competitive grid spot. That is the aim here as we now come out of Yungshao, and that's quite a good run out of there, but is it going to be enough to improve by what we need? Heading for the line now. What is it going to be? Well, it's P7, so that should be enough in theory, but it just wasn't. So a shocking qualifying that ends in P12 for us. We could struggle in the race, but let's see what we can do. That's just qualifying. We got 36 of we got 36 laps of a race still to do.
Formula One returns to Sao Paulo once again with the stage set for what promises to be another classic Brazilian Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel famously clinched his 3rd championship here in 2012, and in 2016, Max Verstappen treated us to one of the finest wet weather drives of all time. Interlagos, always a very special race here in Brazil. It's a 2.7-mile circuit with 9 lefts and 6 rights for a total of 15 corners. The fastest lap today should have an average speed of around 135 miles per hour, if of course the weather stays dry until the end of the Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson, a lot of talented drivers out on the track today, but what will stand out for you?
Well, Crofty, my focus is 100% on the front of the grid. Like you said, we're seeing lots of strong competition across those positions, so it would be super interesting to see the fight for that front spot. Personally speaking, I'm hoping for plenty of overtakes.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Verstappen, Lando Norris and Ricciardo, Sainz, Tsunoda, Joker and Lance Stroll, Giovinazzi, Leclerc, Sebastian Vettel and Russell, Joe, Gasly, they've taken a grid penalty, Esteban Ocon and Nicholas Latifi, Mick Schumacher, Mark Alon, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Mazepin, Massa, and with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Well, Anthony Davidson wants plenty of overtaking. We've got plenty to do if we want a competitive result here. 36 laps stand between us and that. It's lights out and away we go. We haven't really got the best start. One of the Aston Martins has got us off the start. We're now trying to get down the very inside line there, and that's not worked out. Stroll has got past us. We are down to 10th. We did gain a few positions on the grid thanks to penalties, but we lost one on the back of Lance Stroll there. There's someone having a look round my outside. I'm going to cover, but at the same time trying to have a look at Lance Stroll. That move just isn't on. So we are down into P10 for now, but still up 2 positions from the grid position we should have had. So you can't complain too much there, but need to get on with it. So that is what I'm doing here, diving down the inside of Lance Stroll, up into P9. First overtake done. Piece of cake, right? So surely the rest should be easy enough. But anyway, let's get going. Let's get on with it. Next up is Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari, followed by Lando Norris in the McLaren. And we're going to have a look up the inside of Yungshao, and Carlos very graciously there, giving me space to allow me to take that P8. And now, next target is Lando Norris, followed by Yuki Tsunoda, who's running quite competitively, gotta be said, in that Toro Rosso. I mean, sure, if it was 2019, the Alpha Tauri, I think you mean, Joe. Right. Lando Norris is tucked up behind Tsunoda, and I am right there, waiting to pounce. But as you can see, they've gained so much traction out of Yung Shao that I did not get, and I'm having to cover because Carlos Sainz wants to have a look, but no way through there. DRS is now enabled as we are on lap 3, and I am wanting past Lando Norris ASAP, so we're going to take a little look up the inside here. Norris gives me the space, and we get the overtake done. Next up is the AlphaTauri of Tsunoda. Got the car name right finally. And Tsunoda, hopefully we should be able to get a slipstream and up the inside of the center S here. But I've noticed the AI seem to get out of this corner better than I do, so that could be tricky. But with the help of overtake and DRS, we should be able to have a look, if not into the center S, then maybe into 4. Getting ever closer, down the inside of Tsunoda we go, and yeah, that is a very textbook overtake down the inside of the center S and up into P6. So next up we have Perez and Ricciardo just up the road, and that could take a while for us to reach. Meanwhile, that's an engine failure for the Alpine of what I believe is Italian Jesus. It's going to take him even longer to get up the field with that engine failure, but Giovinazzi is out of the race, and we are currently holding P6, and in fact the cars in front of us are matching us at the moment, so while we're not gaining on them, we're not losing too much time. But I'm making a decision to try and make soft to medium work on my strategy. So that's my aim. I don't know what tyres they're going on, but I'm thinking if I can run a little bit longer on softs than what some of them are running, then maybe there's a chance that we can make that work. We're still matching pace with the cars in front of us at the moment, but now we make the pit stop and we actually end up pitting around the same time as the AI. But the cars in front of us, here's the thing, I believe the cars in front of us have gone onto hards. We've gone on to medium, so the thing I want is to get out ahead of Leclerc so I don't end up racing him, and that's what we have done. The only problem I might encounter is Guan Yu Zhou if he ends up being a mobile chicane down into Sector 2, but in fact he's pitted, so nothing to worry about there. And in fact the cars in front of us have all taken on hards, and that has given me a nice little pace advantage of roughly about a second a lap. So that is the strategy working in my favour massively. I took a gamble thinking, you know what, I might be able to make this work, and it looks like I'm going to make it work. We are catching up quite quickly with some of the guys in front, and in fact I can see the rear of Ricciardo now. Game on. How many of these can I get past? Game well and truly on. But first things first, we got to get past Ricciardo, and down this DRS straight we're probably not going to be able to do it because there is a little DRS train here. So getting past Daniel Ricciardo, the first that might prove to be a little bit challenging. Oh, I really just wanted to send it down the inside there, but the move wasn't on. However, we're very close going into this corner here, so we are going to send it up the inside. Ricciardo not willing to let that one go easy, but we've got the place on him. That is P5. Next up is Checo Perez. Are we going to try the same move here? Yes, we are. And wow, that has worked for us nicely. Perez now coming back round the outside, but we have managed to make that work and get past him. And collision? Rubbish. Didn't touch him. Didn't touch him. Don't know what you're talking about. Right, next up is Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton covers to the inside. We're going to go round the outside, and we have gone round the outside of Lewis Hamilton round there. And Max and Lewis, take note, that is how you stick to the outside there and get the move done. Anyway, shade aside, We are now up into P3 and driving an astonishing race now. We are up to Valtteri Bottas, who is in P2. Max Verstappen only just up the road in the lead. What could we achieve in this race? Is the win still on? That is definitely what I'm pushing for at the moment. Bottas is in Max's DRS, I believe, though, so I think he's going to be quite hard to catch down the straight, but we're catching. We're going to dive up the inside, and that is P2 at the Centre S. I do believe Bottas didn't have DRS after all. I would have thought he did, but he didn't, so... And Max is just that little bit further ahead, but now it's time to try and catch him. Bottas having a look up the inside of 4. Not happening there, sunshine. Not happening there at all. Right, time to gain on Verstappen, and that is exactly what we have done over the next couple of laps. And I'm thinking, can we nail another Centre S overtake here? Coming out of Yung Shao. Max has got a good exit out of there. I've gone a little bit wide there to try and prioritise an exit. I'm not sure it's worked for me just yet, but here we go. Let's gain with the DRS. Gain with the DRS. Gaining very quickly. We're going to dive up the inside of the Centre S. The move not on. Max shuts the door in my face. We hit the inside curb, and I went a little bit wide there and got a bit squirrely on the exit, so not what we needed there. So I think a little bit of patience in overtaking Max is going to be the thing that is required. But look how much I gain on him under brakes of 4. We just have that bit more grip on our tyres at the moment. Out of Yung Shao, that's a better exit for us, and we're a lot closer this time than we were last time out. And now the move is definitely on. We are very close to Max. He covers the inside. We're going to take the outside, and Max covering that inside line. We're trying to hold it out around the outside, and I'm still going for the inside of the chicane. Not quite working. Side by side, round 3. What is the result going to be? We're still wheel to wheel going down the straight. I have got more speed, and we head into 4, and I have got ahead of Max to take the race lead. What a bit of racing that was. That was great. Wheel to wheel, harsh but fair racing between us. And what I'm witnessing here appears to be some kind of traffic jam. I'm not quite sure what the outcome of all of that is, but I think... I don't know, maybe I was just watching a fun little battle going ahead, and that's a Red Bull getting clear of it. Anyway, we're on the last lap now. What an unbelievable drive that has been. P9 at the start, dropped to P10, got up to P6, made the strategy work, caught them, picked them off one by one. Let's go! What a win!
I want my pizza, Jeff. You gave it your best, but it just wasn't our day today. It's been an incredible season. We'll come back stronger next year.
And with that,
You jumped,
another year
Jeff.
of Formula One draws to a close, and the new World Drivers' Champion is declared. Another entry added to that prestigious list of the sport's most incredible drivers. A great race then, very much as we've come to expect, and a fantastic win here at Interlagos. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
The faces on our top 3 look so incredibly happy as they make their way up to the podium. A much-deserved victory and a brilliant performance from them all.
Well, the championship may have been decided with Lewis Hamilton winning the championship, but Jeff, really? Not our day? We started 9th on the grid and went on to win the race.
It wasn't
You
the best
drunk,
weekend
mate?
for our championship
Honestly,
leader, and their advantage at the top
I don't know.
has been reduced.
I don't
Now,
even.
let's discuss, Ange.
But
Who would
anyway,
you say is a
congratulations to
contender
Lewis
for
Hamilton
driver
for
of
winning
the
the
day?
title
Has to
by
be
a
said,
country
Felipe
mile,
Massa
but that
certainly
is a
had one
drive I'm
today.
so proud
Made
of.
impressive
Just
gains
picking
through the
them off
race.
one
It's
by
another
one
clear
and
win for
overtaking them to
Mercedes as
take
they
the win,
managed to secure the
using our
constructors'
strategy
title.
to help.
An
Like,
incredible
we went
performance
in,
for the whole
pitted, took
team.
mediums while
After an
everybody else
event like
took
that,
cards,
who knows what
and
the
like I
sport
said,
has
we
in
just
store for
lined
us
them up,
next time.
picked them
Be
off
sure
one
to
by
join us
one,
again
and took
as
that
we
win.
continue to bring you the
But
latest
unfortunately, we
excitement
can't
in
gain on
Formula
Lewis
One.
in the championship now. But I am thinking season 3, this could be our season. Anyway, we do help ourselves by extending the gap in P2 of the championship, and we still maintain P2 in the constructors. So a lot of positives to take from this race. Right, I'm going to leave you with the highlights reel from this one then. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Until the next time, I've been Joe. Look after yourselves. TTFN guys, ta-ta for now.